University of Findlay Theatre program's The Devised Theatre. As a reminder, we ask that you please turn off all electronic devices and refrain from texting, taking photos, and recording videos throughout the performance. We also ask that you please keep all aisleways clear throughout the entirety of the show. What you are about to see has been developed by the cast over the past 2 weeks with the themes of fear and love in mind. We ask that you please remain seated after the show for a short talk back with the cast and creative team. Thank you, and enjoy the performance.
Everybody's got their demons.
The way I look?
Debilitating thought cycles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
How could anyone love me?
Why am I afraid of being so different?
Why am I so afraid of not being good enough?
To not be afraid is even worse. And they're like ribbons, and they'll whip so violently that they'll cut your insides.
Have I ever been truly afraid?
I don't want to lose another.
No.
It's dark and I'm all alone.
Nothing, leave me alone.
But
Don't talk to me.
I thought we were...
I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore, okay?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, okay?
But you said you loved me.
Look at you.
How could you do that to me?
How couldn't I do that to you? Waste the space!
Hey, Jack, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Can you back up, please? Okay, quiet, please. Be quiet, be quiet. Stop, I'm fine. Back up. I'm fine. I know. Get away from me. I'm fine. Come on.
Get out of here.
Hey, honey. You go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sweet dreams, okay?
Good night, Dad.
All right, good night. going on?
What are you gonna do?
It's dark. What's going on? Hello. They're gone. She's gone. Look at me. Are you okay? All right, let's go.
You're not good enough for him.
He probably thinks you're ugly. You'll never be enough for him.
What were you even thinking?
You're so worthless.
He's just gonna use you. Think you're so special.
He's just gonna leave you, just like your mother.
Someone
Just
else.
stop now.
Someone's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
get
hurt.
hurt. Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Not good enough.
You're
It's
gonna
not.
end up all alone. All
You're
alone.
gonna scare him off!
Not.
Doesn't like you.
Stop.
Stop. Why would he like
Stop.
you?
Good enough.
Why?
Stop. Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Just stop.
As if you'd ever be good enough for him.
Oh,
Never.
really?
Don't answer that.
You're hideous.
Come on, folks, we gotta hurry.
Come on.
We almost.
I need a first light check.
Can you bring in the talent, please?
Check. You need a light check.
Our life is checking. What's taking so long? Oh, you are. You guys almost ready.
Good.
Check. Check. That's gonna have to work, I guess. Makeup. Oh, it's almost ready. All right.
and good morning, and welcome to DPTV.
My name is Eli Garman.
And I'm Paul Beaver. In today's news, this weekend an Irish woman decided that her marital bliss existed in someone a little older. She married a famous Haitian pirate by the name of Arthur Racker. But in fact, he is, as he is 300 years old, not actually alive anymore. Instead, what she used as a stand-in during the wedding was a picture of Captain Jack Sparrow that was printed out by her friends.
I guess you could say, what are you afraid of then?
Yes. What about if, imagine if you fell in love with a ghost. What do you think you would do?
You know, I don't really know. You know, I think, you know, that's hard to say.
I know, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
You know, like if you met a ghost woman and you were like, oh man, she just steals my heart. Like, I'm not really sure if she's literally stealing it or not.
So what are you afraid of then?
What am I afraid of?
Yeah.
That's a good question. A lot of things, actually. Mainly in the crippling loneliness and insecurity variety, but it's all good.
Anything else?
My daughter, she has nightmares a lot, as I'm sure a lot of parents can attest to. But it's gotten harder recently. It's every night. I don't know what to do.
All right, we'll cut to commercial there. We'll be right back with Puppies on Trains.
That's a wrap!
Are you okay, dude?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna make a really quick phone call, okay?
Okay.
So, see you in a minute.
Okay.
Hey, honey. Yeah, I'm here. I can talk.
Hey, Dad. There's something I need to talk to you about, and it's really important, actually. You know?
Hey, you said Dad. Hey, something to talk to you about something. Is it okay? Something I wanted to get over just for a while, but
Well, the thing is, I've wanted to tell you this for a while now, and it's really been something that's been building up for the last couple of years.
What do you mean?
And I don't.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I just said no. I feel like taking over my life.
I'm so scared. Anything I
And
can
the
do.
thing is, I don't know how to tell you. You know, every time I try and come up to you and tell you this about myself, it just doesn't come out right, you know? And I don't know, I'm scared, okay? I'm scared that if I tell you that something's gonna change, that you're gonna not wanna be my dad anymore, or you're gonna abandon me. And I can't do this right now. I have to go. All right.
Story that started 60 years ago. Two people met at work, didn't necessarily like each other at first. She thought that he was too bossy and he thought that she was too prissy, but after working together for 2 years, they fell in love and they got married. 4 years after they got married, they had their first kid. 3 years later, they had another one, and they were the happiest of families. And then 25 years later, they had their first grandkid. 6 years later, another one. And they were so close, and they spent every holiday and every chance they got together. But 9 years after, 11 years ago, he had a stroke, taking all of the movement on his right side, taking all of his speech. But they worked together to get through it. He went to speech therapy and started getting back some of his speech. But 2 years after that first stroke, he had another one, wiping out what was left of the movement on his right side, wiping out the rest of his speech. But they got through it. Today, about 9 years after that second stroke, I still see them on every weekend, every chance they get, they spend together. And they're always smiling, always happy. They spend as much time as they can with their family, their kids, their grandkids. And that's what love is. Something that lasts. Thank you.
It's really good to see you this week. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, my name is Abby and I'm a nightmare.
Hi.
I'm Paul, and I'm a nightmare.
Hi, Paul.
I've been scaring for 15 years now, and can I be real with you guys for a second? Okay, it's gotten harder recently. I don't know, like when I first started after I died, it was really fun. Like I used to scare these old school bullies I had in middle school. I'm still scaring them, but now they're older and it's kind of sad now.
You're a terrible nightmare.
Hey.
Thank you, Paul. Who's next? Hi, everyone. My name is Stacy, and I'm a nightmare.
Hi, Stacy.
I've been scared for about 500 years, and let me tell you, Paul, it only gets better. I've taken my residents up in an elementary school bathroom. You won't believe how many kids fall asleep on the toilet. Their reactions, priceless. Thank you, Stacy. Who's next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Blake, and I am a nightmare.
Hi, Blake.
I just want to say, as of today, I will be scaring for 20 days. Thank you. I just want to say, since I've started scaring, it has been fantastic. It has been a really great joy.
Thank you, Blake. Who's up next?
Hi, my name's Alicia.
Hi, Alicia.
I think I misunderstood what this meeting was supposed to be about. See, I'm not a nightmare. I'm the person who has nightmares. I think I better go.
I'll see you tonight.
All right, who'd like to share next?
Hi, I'm Celia, and I'm a nightmare.
I'm
Yeah.
I've been scaring for 2,100 years.
Oh.
Something happened this week. I've been scaring the same girl for 15 years, putting in her head that her dad doesn't care, that he's going to leave her just like her mom did. She's going to be alone. Do you want to know what happened this week when she screamed? He came in and he saw me. What? I said he saw me! I'm not lying! I don't understand. I didn't think that they could do that. Do you want to know why I put those thoughts in her head? Because when I was alive and I had nightmares, my father sent me away. My father became my nightmare! So why? Why does he get to come in and save her? And out of anybody that could have seen me, it had to be a father! I don't know what my purpose is anymore. Am I even a nightmare? I can't be it.
I'm gonna go check on her. I'll see the rest of you next week. Whew.
Well, that was awkward.
Easy awkward.
You really good work, Blake.
See you next week.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Stacy, do you want some help? Yes, please. Yeah, we can take that one. There we go. Right. Yeah, we can take that one too. Ah, let me help.
Okay. You got it all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like a hand?
I'm just asking. Hey, have I ever told you about the time that I got together with your mother?
No, not really.
Cool. Well, I got a story for you. A long time ago.
Player one, start.
I went looking for love. I searched for it everywhere, trying to find it. I climbed over mountains. I crawled through caves. And then at the end of that long and treacherous journey, I saw her, your mother, the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. But the journey wasn't over yet. First, I had to face the first boss, ex-boyfriend. And I decided I would tell him that he had had his chance and that I would win her heart. Winner! Fell down and he gave up. So I kept going, and then I had to face the second boss, her best friend. Fight! I felt so defeated. Player one! Defeated! If her best friend didn't like me, then how would she ever like me? But I had a friend, and he gave me an extra life.
Come on, Robbie, you got this. You're the best dude I know.
One up! So I got back up and I told her that I really did care for your mother and I would protect her. And I hoped that one day she and I could become friends too. Winner! And finally, I had to face one last boss. The scariest, most terrifying, most powerful boss of them all. Her dad. So I decided I'd just be honest with him. And so I told him that I really cared for his daughter and that I would take care of her as best as I could and make sure to get her back by 9 o'clock. Winner! So I climbed one last mountain, ascending the steps to her front door, and there she was, waiting for me. And the rest is history. Winner! 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 I love you, okay? Sweet dreams.
Blake, how's it going today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Today's so beautiful.
How are you? Watch it.
Mic check. We're bringing the talent. Hi, Anna. How are you? Make up the arms. All right. We're getting done with plenty of time, guys. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go. I think we're about ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to DPTV. Time for a scientific report on love. Love that we all want. Let's think love as if it's like a mathematical problem where you have hundreds of choices to get to the end result. But there are so many species around the world who doesn't have any choices. Thanks to us, human beings. Environmental pollution, deforestation, climate change, and so on. That takes us to our subject, Romeo, the world's loneliest frog. And he has been lonely not for 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5, but for 10 years. Without hope, without love, he was living a miserable life. Scientists thought that he's the only alive member of his community. Here comes the great news. They have finally found the love of his life, Juliet, one sassy little frog, the perfect match for Romeo. Let's go live, the happy couple.
Romeo, could we get a comment from you?
Rivet.
Well, that's a wrap.
All right, we're wrapping it up, people.
Good job today.
Yeah, you too. Hey, I'm gonna go make a phone call. I'll see you guys around, okay? Hey, I was just calling because I wanted to hear your voice. It's been a while since we really had a little hard time.
Hey, Grimm, how have you been?
I wanted to know. We
I'm
haven't
so
known each other
excited.
for very long. No, I got just so much time. In that time, I'm glad that I really got to see you. And that I've let you get to know me.
That doesn't matter. We
So, I just, I want to tell you that I love you.
That would be great.
It feels so nice to say. And I just think you should know that God always been there for me. And so I always want to do that for you too.
No, actually, you're so good. I love you.
I'm excited to go grab and talk about building very nice. Hopefully I can do that sometime. I can't wait to see you. Okay. I love you. Bye.
Excuse me, Celia?
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Jack,
Yeah, I'm Stacy.
and we're representatives from Dream Corps. We believe you would make an excellent dream.
Because you suck at scaring. I beg to differ.
Okay, Stacy. Would you like to go to Dream Corps with us?
To where?
Dream Corps! Let's just take her. Stand up, please.
Where the ow?
Welcome to Dream Corps. Now, Celia, here at Dream Corps, we only give happy thoughts to kids.
No negativity here.
Exactly. Only positivity.
How can I give someone a happy thought if I've never had one?
What even are you? A nightmare.
Okay, that's fine. Let's bring in some friends.
Wait a minute, I know.
You probably know Abby and Robbie from Nightmares Anonymous.
I used to be a nightmare, just like you. I know you're confused, but you know, bringing joy is so fantastic. It warms my heart.
I've watched Robbie's progress, and he's coming along great. I know you're confused, but trust me, dreams aren't that bad. We're all dreams at heart. Some of us are just a little negative.
I've never had a dream.
Oh, we'll show you. Let's show her. Let's show her.
That's a great idea. Robbie, if you don't mind.
Please, Celia, have a seat for me. Now, Celia, Close your eyes and imagine for me. A world of happiness. A world of happy thoughts.
Happy!
Ice cream!
Spencer Mark.
A world where you are love.
We're all What is this?
Oh, it's happiness. It hurt. Well, it's not
Well, Celia, would you like to join us?
What do you say? Quiet. You know you want to. I could try. Yay!
Welcome to Dream Corps!
Now, let's make some kids happy.
You are enough.
No, I'm not. You are kind. You're beautiful. You're smart. He deserves so much better than me. He already loves you. No, he doesn't. Why would he love me? I'm nothing special. If you won't listen to me, and listen to him.
I know I say this all the time, but you're the best thing that ever happened to me, okay? And I love you no matter what. You deserve it. And you deserve to be loved by someone that loves you too. But it's not going to just happen. And I know love is scary. But it doesn't mean you don't need to go for it. So go for it.
I don't even know what love is. I can't do it.
Love is cuddles.
Love doesn't judge you.
Love is like our talks at 3 a.m.
Love is holding hands for everything and anything.
Love is Harry Potter. Love is always being there for them.
Love is weird, but everyone deserves it.
Love is nap time.
Love is hope.
Love is a compromise. Go for it. Go to him. Go. Call him.
It's okay.
Go to him.
Go.
You've got this. It's okay.
No.
It's gonna be okay. Go. It's okay.
It's okay.
Go. Hey.
Hey.
Love can help us conquer our demons.
I love the way I look.
Ranting my thoughts to you over the phone. I love myself.
Love is accepting people for who they are.
Love is believing in yourself.
Love is more than just a feeling, it's cosmic.
Love conquers fear.
Always have a hand to hold.
Yes.
You're never really alone.
Love is...
As part of our performance this evening, we're having a brief talk back with the cast and creative team after, well, right now. My name is Ben Gougeon. I'm the director. And before we start, I just want to introduce a couple other people who are here. First off, our fantastic stage management team back up in the booth up there. And also our lighting designer, Dustin Druckman? Yep. Great. Just a little bit about the process before we meet the cast. We started working on this show about 2 weeks ago with 2 words, love and fear and nothing else. And over the last 2 weeks of rehearsal, we've put together through exploration and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears what you saw tonight. Everything was created by the cast, and I just kind of helped them edit it together. So let's go around and introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Paul Beaver, and I'm a grad student in the Masters of Writing and Rhetoric program here.
I'm Celia Brand. I'm a sophomore. I'm a social work major with the Drug and Alcohol Addictions minor.
I'm Riley Clausa. I'm a sophomore theater performance and psychology double major.
I'm Stacy Brenneman. I'm a freshman and I'm an athletic training major and theater minor.
I'm Robert Riffle. I'm a freshman and I'm a double theater major.
I'm Abby Starcher. I'm a sophomore theater major with a minor in gender studies.
I'm sophomore, Sadia Arna. I'm the double major in environmental safety and theater with a minor in sustainability development.
I'm Alicia O'Hanian. I'm a sophomore marketing major with a theater minor.
I am am Ryan Blake Bush. I am a junior theater major.
I'm Eliza Brisbane. I'm a freshman double theater major and music minor.
My name is Eli Garman. I am a sophomore graphic design and theater double major with a digital media minor.
I'm Jack Hader. I'm a freshman double major in theater and journalism and digital media.
I'm John DeKranz. I was one of the assistant directors and dramaturgs. I'm a junior theater major with an intervention studies minor.
I'm Cody Watson. I was the other assistant director and dramaturg. I'm a junior majoring in graphic design with a minor in art history and theater.
Great, thank you guys. And while obviously this is open to anything, kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight, or see if you guys had any questions about, was more about the process of creating the piece. Devised Theatre is something it's been around for a while, but has been becoming more and more kind of part of the theater world, just creating your own works. So that was kind of what the university wanted to give these students a chance, was to explore that creativity and figure out they wanted. And like I said, everything you saw up here, all the pieces they created, with the exception of the one song, they played all the music. It was all done live. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys and see if anyone has any questions about anything. Lights. Yes, sir.
All right, so this project was pretty crazy in terms of you guys did everything for 2 weeks. It had to have been hectic. What was your favorite part about the whole creation process of it all?
I mean, we got to split up into groups a lot and then just go write our own scenes. And when we were making those scenes, it was a lot of fun to just perform them for everybody and then see what everybody thought and then see the different iterations of it, because we went back and tried different variations on the same scene.
I'd say a really cool part about the whole thing is just because with the creation process of the improvisation to come up with the scenes to begin with, a little bit of everyone's personality was put into the entirety of the show. So I just think that the whole process of everyone coming together to make one big story with a bunch of little stories was really neat.
Anyone else? All right.
I personally felt that the general openness that we all had as an ensemble to accept just about any idea was really great in the process, because without a completely open space and open environment for creation, you can't really create. So the fact that we were so open and willing to accept just about anything people would chime in, even if it wasn't going to work eventually, you know, it helped make us a better ensemble and build the show into what it is now.
Yeah, and that's, you know, going off what Blake said, the amount of material that we created was far more than this, you know, and this is just what made the cut. But they, I think someone alluded to it earlier, Alicia did. The first weekend we kind of spent doing a lot of physical work and physical exercises and giving everyone the tools to use to build everything else. But then we'd send everyone out and they would write scenes and come back and perform them, and then I would give them a prompt like, okay, now let's see that same scene from another group from a different character's point of view, or incorporating an element of another medium, you know, whether it be dance or music or whatever. So they just kept kind of twisting the scenes and twisting until we found what we ended up finding. Yes, sir.
Okay, cell phones and apple boxes with props. Is that a hindrance or was it help? Go ahead.
Wonderful.
So for a lot of the scenes, like the one where I'm just standing up there on my phone is off. All of our phones are off during this entire process. But it was like, it was really awkward just to stand there looking at my phone like, okay, I'm doing something. I don't know what I'm doing on my phone. I'm doing something.
Well, and you know, we were just kind of, when we started rehearsing, we just kind of were playing with whatever was backstage. So like the newscaster scene that Arna did, you know, they just grabbed like the broomstick and the little light to just use as props. And our wonderful prop department like saw that and brought in an actual boom pole and a camera for us to use. But we just kind of liked that like do-it-yourself aesthetic so much of everything that it's just, oh, it's this found theater, these found objects that we can tell a story with.
I also got in trouble for getting the actual cameras. Yeah, that in the show.
Just to add with that, like every song that you guys have heard, like it's with live music. It's like everyone else, like they just like created those music with their own instruments, and they did like use some weird props.
Some ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. A whole ladder.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, and that was something that we talked about music early on and incorporating sound into the show, but it wasn't really until Sunday, this past Sunday, where we kind of cemented the structure of the play that we then started to add in the music. And like, these guys are amazing. I'd be like, we need some music here, something like, I don't know. And someone would be like, well, I can play clarinet, Robbie. And I can play clarinet, great, play clarinet. And then he just like, okay. It was
exactly like that. Just like that.
So it was really incredible. And then over this week, we just kept layering and layering in more and more sound elements to the show. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Did the final scenes that were chosen, did they just kind of emerge, or was there a discussion process or consensus, or how was that chosen? How were they chosen?
Robbie?
Well, what we originally planned was we had kind of, so how we built our scenes were from our homework that Ben gave us. Thank you, Ben, for giving us homework.
You're welcome.
So we had to find like articles or like interviews, and then we would kind of just build a scene off of an article. Like one of the frog scene was based off of an article, just right off of that. And that's how we kind of just built all of our scenes. And then what we did was we did the break into the teams, and then we just altered them. And then we found the one we liked, and we decided it's in the show.
Yeah. There were a couple of times where Ben would say, okay, we're going to have like a 1 or 2 minute free write on fear. And then he'd be like, okay, stop that, now do like a 1 minute free write on love. And whatever we wrote down, we got in a circle one day and we spoke it out to each other. And that's how we came up with our beginning fear poem and then our ending love poem.
We had a therapy session, basically. Because they were all our fears and all of the things we thought love were. So.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the thing is, more specifically to think about like the whittling down process. It was really like, when was the first day we ran the show? We ran it as a show, so supposedly.
Yeah, it was
Sunday night.
Sunday night. So like, basically we had like a lot more scenes, and then we just kind of like decided like, well, we're gonna smash these together, see what happens. And then we kind of like worked from there to kind of like cut stuff and figure out like, is this working, or figure out the order of it. So it was really a process of like just shoving out with everything else and seeing if it worked, and then adjusting as it went. So.
Yeah, and we had really liked the nightmare scene, the scene where the girl has the nightmare, and we thought, okay, how do we branch out of that? You know, see the effect that it has on the girl going forward, and the father, and the nightmare itself. And so that kind of became our central through line for the show that everything else revolved around. And
we had a great editor. Like, he just like put things in and cut things in, so thank you.
we changed the show around a lot when we started. I basically gave them one night, we had been working all day, and I gave them 12 note cards and said, a scene about nightmares with 4 actors, a love poem, and just created all these elements and shuffled them up and put them face down and said, all right, this is the show we're going to do tonight, just go do the show. And we did that several times throughout the process, but that kind of helped us to create the structure. Yes,
With that, it was really funny because he handed us a note card and said, can't do the show, and we ran backstage and we were like, Ah, 4 actors. You go.
It's a very in the moment process.
Yeah.
It's like a great part.
And I feel like that process is what really like connected us as an ensemble, basically, because like we really just like we had to trust each other. Like there's no time to be like, oh well, maybe I'll go on, or do you want to go? No, it was literally like go. And, no, yeah.
Yes.
There was the one scene that was really creepy. It was completely black and pink. Crawl out of my skin. What was your inspiration for the sounds? Those were the sounds got me really bad.
Fear.
I have no idea.
It was fear.
I think it kind of varied on each person. I feel like each person had a different kind of soundscape in their head, and depending on where you are in the room, you know, it sounds very different from me when I'm like clacking on the sticks and hitting the box, whereas someone who's in the corner just hissing and making other sounds. Like for me, I was thinking of like a haunted forest, I guess.
Yeah.
But I reckon some people might have been thinking of maybe an old house, or maybe just the sounds in their head when it's like dead silent.
I just had a paint stick and I was hitting on the ladder back there. That's what it was.
It's just kind of the whole. We originally started with the idea of, hey, you're doing something that sounds like here. And we're like, what does here sound like to us? And so we went out and did it. And then Ben's like, you should go out with the audience and do it. And it just sounded really cool, and that's what we stuck with.
Ooh, I might add the first draft of the sound fear. We tried mimicking what the love song was, only off D, and it ended up just a bunch of really uncomfortable moaning. It's a whole different shit.
I think we were trying to piggyback off of the sound that we made for the original Nightmare scene, because in the Nightmare scene we like kind of made the hissing sound, and so we did that, and then Ben was like, why don't we try doing something different? And then so we all went out into the audience, the house, and we hissed, like, we did that, and then we just added stuff to that, and it became that song, or soundscape, or whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
What made you decide to like personify
That came out of, that was originally the Nightmare Anonymous scene, right?
Yeah. I mean,
That was our original piece.
It was actually a cool thing because like I was, you know, that moment when we were kind of like, we were building upon a previous hit that was done about, we had established that there was a nightmare going on. And there was there was some idea of like that, and they were like, hold on a second, like we need to actually not only have it be like a force represented by the cast, but have it actually be characters. Was like very much so in the moment. We were outside, just sitting in the lobby, and then we just kind of like, we just like all at once we were like, what if we made them people? Like that would be fun. And so then we just straight went into it and just was like, let's just do it. It was a very in the moment. A lot of people just kind of were, our wheels were turning, and I don't think, I mean, it was just an idea that just kind of flowed out of like all of us.
Then out comes me screeching.
I saw a couple other hands and two more hands. Yeah.
First of all, I want to say you did a beautiful job. And
Oh,
thanks,
thank
India.
you.
How did you settle on what you wanted it to look like in terms of costume? Like I've heard bits and pieces throughout the process, but how did you come to this kind of breakthrough? Like how did that work out?
Jill, our costume designer, helped a lot with that. As a director, costume is not my forte. So I basically said, wear something monochromatic. Just come in with something that's monochromatic, and we'll adjust from there. And Jill came and watched, and then she kind of talked to everyone about, you know, Paul adding the cardigan for the father, Cece adding the bandana for the nightmare. So Jill kind of made all the final adjustments, and we kind of, you know, some of it was just a function of, what do you have monochromatic in your closet? Blue jeans and a bluish shirt.
The three other outfits were blue and gray to start with.
Yeah.
So there was like,
We'll stick with that. Works. Yeah.
How and why did you choose the topic of love and fear?
After we had the auditions, which was about a month ago, I had created a questionnaire for the cast about what their interests were, what kind of stories they liked, favorite movies, favorite plays, I don't know about favorite plays, favorite books. Yeah, and the themes of those things, and what their fears were. And so after everyone turned in their questionnaire, I just kind of weeded through them and looked at what were the main topics that people seemed to be interested and wanted to talk about. And it was originally love, fear, and equality were the three big things that I kept seeing over and over. And then as we started working, it just kind of whittled itself into love and fear and the way those two things play off each other. Yes?
Process question.
Yes.
Realizing that a large number of the vignettes here were pretty highly personal. I don't envy anybody having to cross that minefield to figure out what stays in and what goes. Do you have any kind of an agreement going in, or what was the process for deciding what made the cut and what didn't?
Yeah, I'll let you guys speak on that. It was your material, not mine.
When we were very early on in the rehearsal process, we actually had a different idea we were going to run with that was, was actually going to be about gun violence and shootings. And what we did was we basically recreated a school shooting. And basically what happened was it got incredibly real. People were starting to suffer mentally, emotionally afterwards. And we took, we broke for lunch for about 2 hours and we came back, and people were still so distraught and so shaken up by it that we had to have a conversation, and we came to the conclusion that if this is going to cause this much distress to even one person, then we cannot continue with it. And Ben had even talked to us further about certain subjects, as great as it would be to, go on a very serious subject and kind of tackle things like that. Certain subjects might not be the best because of the limited time that we have, and that a large majority of us have not experienced said event, and it wouldn't necessarily be appropriate or very respectful for us to cover that topic.
All right, well, thank you guys. But thank you guys so much for coming. And just one more hand for these guys.